What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. We are covering Season 2, Episode 7, Deflectors of the Orville. Let's get into it. All right. Interesting episode. We are finally covering, I guess, the second half of the Moclan tragedy, I'll call it. We had the whole gender identity conflict or issue with Topa, and now we're dealing with, I guess, in the Moclan eyes, being gay, or in their terms, being straight. I don't know how to approach this.
Well, I think it's the same thing as
it's just turned on its head, right?
Yeah, but it's very much the same thing with what we have to deal with in our society today. The prejudice. It's just prejudice, like straight up prejudice with your sexual orientation or your sexual preference.
Yeah,
right.
basically.
So I guess what you're saying is like, well, it's kind of turned because their society is just they're all male.
Yeah,
and they all have to be male. They're not allowed to be, they're not allowed to be attracted. They're not allowed to be female. They're not allowed to be attracted to female. It's just part of their culture. So it's really difficult to. I can't ask you, or you can't ask me. It's like, well, how would you react if your partner was prejudiced to a certain, preference? And be like, well, I can't really. But there's no way for me to know how that would be, right? Because we didn't grow up in that culture. So this was like a very, very interesting episode in that regard.
If you put it in our terms or in the way our society works, man and woman is the accepted norm, and then when you get into the realm of same-sex relationships, it's it's a controversial topic, and I think that's what they're trying to do with this episode, especially the way that Keyali approaches this entire thing. She's very bent out of shape, very emotional and triggered by such prejudice, and in our society, I would have to agree with her that it doesn't really trigger me that much for people to just love who they're gonna love.
Well said. I think it's really a kind of just another episode where they touch on these topical
issues,
right?
Yeah.
And whether in our society today, there's just so many different angles. There's so many different people that live together, but we're moving forward in a more progressive culture. It was once closed in with such rigid rules and things that you have to abide by.
A lot of people are just more open-minded these days.
Open-mindedness, and I think that's what the Orville is trying to showcase here, is that it's a big universe, right? And you have to be accepting of a planet's culture and their ways, just like in the previous episode, with the Sagittarius and the planets and whatever star, what month or what year you were born in, that is their cultural ways. And so I guess the Orville is kind of like the portal to more open-mindedness in space.
Yeah. They're definitely pushing the angle of evolution or being more evolved and not being so tethered to such archaic beliefs or tethered to the tradition so much where you can't change.
What was really cool about this episode, though, was
the murder mystery.
Yeah. And I think I got it right at the first guess. And we were kind of debating and what was going on. I think we were both right in some sense.
Yeah, I think you kind of guessed the result or what really transpired. I guessed that Clyden just wasn't that smart to begin with, and it turned out to be true on both ends. He obviously guessed that
I thought it was Topar the whole time.
Death.
Yeah, he had to disappear, wanted to disappear, and maybe just not face the consequences of who he is. But eventually he did.
Which is something that a lot of people in that community deal with. So I was right in the fact that Clyden didn't do it because he wasn't smart enough. It actually turned out to be Locar who just did everything.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny how they went about their search for Locar.
Oh yeah. Use your eyes.
Look in the small cupboard that will not fit that guy. In the end, they found him because he rustled.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they had to find him, and well, in any case, it was a very interesting episode. It was a good episode for Keyali.
Yeah, definitely. She had a strong performance on here.
Had some tears at the end of that, and
we got some mopey Cassius.
It's mopey Cassius, and then kind of the reignition of Ed and Kelly's relationship. I'm not sure I'm down for that. I don't think that ship is going to work. I think what they have a history together, so obviously their chemistry is still there, and they trust each other with what they talk about. Oh, and you know what was hilarious was Ed, giving his advice to Kelly while they're going through this. Like,
clearly biased advice.
I don't know how you feel that way. Yeah, that's obviously you should just ignore him. It was just like it was funny with the way they went back and forth.
Yeah, obviously he wanted things to turn out in a certain way, and so he pushed for that angle. In any case, nothing really happened. We did get an upgrade to their deflectors. This episode was called Deflectors.
Which is very fitting.
That was the side plot.
Yeah, well, it was fitting,
It is essentially thematic, right?
Yeah, it's very, very much what the episode was about.
Yeah. Deflectors.
Deflecting. Just deflect.
Okay, guys. Well, let us know what you thought in the comment section below about this episode. Leave a like. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from us. And we'll catch you guys later.